BCPWEDNESDAY.com. I'm Evan Wren, and this is the Big Country Preps Wednesday Night Podcast, our weekly look at the area athletic scene, what happened last week, and what's going on this week. I'm here with my partner, Dan Youngblood, via Zoom. And tonight, Dan, we got a special Tuesday night edition. In case you haven't noticed, it's not Wednesday night, it is Tuesday, and we're going early as a favor to our friends out in Westbrook, whose Lady Wildcats are going to be heading out to San Antonio for the 1A state tournament. And most of them are leaving early tomorrow morning. Some are going to be leaving tonight, some of their fans. So we're going to go ahead and go tonight with our podcast and our preview on the website. And tonight, Dan, we got a special guest. We've got Westbrook coach Jeff Bontrager.
Yeah, this will be a fun conversation with Coach Bontrager, whose team I think has surprised a whole lot of people by making earning a trip down to San Antonio. They had a really gritty, gutsy performance out in Snyder in the Region 2-1A tournament, which I got to see, beat Irion County and Eula. Both games come from behind. The Irion County game, 10 lead changes in the fourth quarter. They are able to come out on top of that one, and then they trailed Eula by 8 points going into the fourth quarter and managed to rally past the Lady Pirates. So this is a really gritty, really gutsy, really fun to watch Westbrook team. And it's going to be fun to talk to Coach Bontrager about this group and what makes it special, because certainly the run it's on is very special.
Right, and with that, before we jump into this week's show, let's thank a couple of our sponsors, beginning with For the Love of the Game Broadcasting, and our old friend Terry Slavens, owner of K-Lakes 93.5 FM out of Breckenridge, 97.7 FM KATX out of Eastland, Classic Country AM 1330 out of Graham, 94.7 FM KWKQ out of Graham, KROO 1430 AM out of Breckenridge, and KWBY 98.5 FM out of Ranger. That is For the Love of the Game Broadcasting. Also, Rob Durham, sales consultant at Bear Chevrolet Buick Cadillac up in Breckenridge. If you're in the market for a vehicle, new or used, give Rob a shot. He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever want to meet. Call him at 254-559-2266. That's Rob Durham at Bear Chevrolet Buick Cadillac in Breckenridge. Right, and one other thing, we ask you YouTubers to please hit the subscribe button, and then also hit that little bell so you'll get notifications each and every time that Big Country Preps comes up with a podcast. You can tell that I'm really tech savvy. Hit that little bell thing. But do it, please hit the little bell thing, and then you'll get notifications each and every time that we come up with a new podcast. So please subscribe, won't you please? We appreciate it.
And with that, is just about time to get Coach Bontrager on, and it looks like he's about ready. You ready to talk to Coach?
Do I sound like I'm ready? I mean, with all we've been through today, do I sound like I'm ready? No,
I don't.
Yeah, but I am ready. Yes, let's go.
All right, let's get him on.
And joining us now, Westbrook girls basketball coach Jeff Bontrager. Coach, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. We know you're a busy guy.
I have been busy for the last few days, that's for sure.
Well, welcome aboard. Let's just start talking about your team and the season that it has had. Talk about the keys so far this season. What are you liking? Right? What has gotten you this far to the state tournament?
We've always kind of hung our hat on defense, especially in the last few years. Our defense, when our offense isn't really providing the points that we want, it's defense that's kept us in games. So that has continued throughout the year, but I'd say in the last 3 weeks, it's gotten better. Some of the younger kiddos that we have on the roster have started grasping some of the concepts. And then the other thing that we talk about from the very beginning of the season, really in August, we talk about just continually improving, not to let losses maybe in November and December cause a lot of concern. We want to learn from them, but we want to be continuing to improve all the way up to the point we're at now and playing our best basketball when it means the most.
And obviously, y'all got a tough matchup ahead of you with a really good Newcastle team in the semifinals. What has been your impression of this team with what you've seen, and kind of what are some keys if you're going to beat this team? What are y'all going to have to do well?
Getting ready for Newcastle really isn't a lot different than getting ready for Eula or getting ready for Irion County. They were all good teams that each had a good post player and then a really outstanding guard. Newcastle has that. Their inside girl is really good. But we really feel like, Coach Dollar's daughter is the real key. And then, of course, the point guard, the freshman point guard, Mallory is really good. And then they have really strong role players. And I feel like that's what we've been seeing. Maybe it's at a slightly higher level, but, I think it's important for us that we respect who we play and we game plan them and do all of those things. But at the same time, not if we're going to have a chance, we can't put them up too high on a pedestal.
Your seniors, Morris and Martin, were on their first day team as freshmen. They've been there and done that. Can you talk about maybe their experience in state and how they can help their teammates?
Well, especially with Tay. Tay's been a starter for the last 3 years, and she remembers that experience, and she a lot of times she refers back to those 4 senior girls that took her under their wing and really helped her mature as a freshman. And Tay's doing the same thing now. She's providing a lot of leadership, and then she's doing what she needs to do on the court, which is the biggest thing for us.
And y'all earned this trip to state with 2 really gritty wins at the regional tournament against Irion County and Eula. Games where y'all found yourselves down late and had to really kind of grit out and grind out some victories. That's something that's kind of been a staple of this team and an ability that it's developed. Just how much fun has that been watching a team with as many young girls you got that have kind of developed that grit and that toughness and that ability to handle the adversity in late in game situations?
I think that one of the things that has really impressed me about these girls is just to keep their poise and keep their perseverance. In these situations where a lot of teams might start giving in a little bit to it, to the fact that we're down or we're in a tough game, and they just haven't really, lost their poise. It's not like we've played perfect basketball down the stretch, but we've done a few little things to the other team to maybe change that pressure, try to turn it and put it back on them a little bit. We've had a couple players. Kinley Gilbreth is another freshman. She's our assistant coach's daughter. She's hit some big threes and free throws for us. And, you've got to have some of those big moments to give your team some added belief and a little bit of spark defensively. And she's done that. Tay's hit some big shots. It's been a team effort, but, even our bench, you look at the body language of our players on the bench and what they're all about. As teammates are out on the floor doing good things, and it takes all of that. And so I just feel like it's a team that has felt driven to return and to get to the regional tournament. And then really our attitude is let's just go out and play and see what happens, and try not to put too much pressure on ourselves. And I would say we've stayed very loose. Sometimes when you're riding the bus, you wonder, okay, is this going a little too far and being loose? But it's been good, and they know when to flip the switch.
Coach, you have a lot of young players getting key minutes. Can you talk a little bit about that group and what they're doing right and their capabilities?
Well, they have, of course, Rainey Rich. Her big thing is her size. She's 6'1", and she has grown in her game so much in the last year. She worked hard in the summer, and she got stronger. Her footwork got better, and we still see situations where, wow, what's she going to be like in a couple of years? Because it's still a situation where you can tell she's learning even now. And but it's been a great addition to have some height in the lineup, just to give that other team something to think about inside. And then I've already talked about Kinley Gilbreth a little bit, what she's done. We knew she could shoot the ball, but what she's picked up along the way defensively and handling the ball, I would say handling the ball and handling the pressure, ball pressure has been her biggest area of improvement from the beginning of the year. Another thing that makes what she's done so impressive is that she was injured much of her 8th grade year, and she really hadn't played since her 7th grade year until this year. So what she's done has really been remarkable. And then Grace Potter's another freshman that's getting a lot of minutes, and she's got a great shot. She brings a lot of energy defensively, and to have that combination of some experience and then their youth and enthusiasm has just been a good combination, and the team gets along really well. The seniors have helped them along the way and are very accepting of their role. So it's just been, a real positive having that combination.
And I guess this is your 3rd trip to state personally, having taken, I guess, Leveland boys in 16. Just what are some of the biggest lessons as a coach that you've learned in terms of leading a team down there, taking a team down there, just how to handle that whole experience?
Well, you certainly want opportunities to get the awe factor, out of the way as much as possible. And one of the things that we didn't have when I went from Levelland in 16 that we have now is we have a scheduled shoot around in the Alamo Dome on Wednesday. So, we're going to be able to go in there, and for the ones that have never been in there, take care of maybe some of that awe factor, on that day. So when we come in for game day, that's still not a part of our, our psyche. I think that the other things, this year, that even though different things are different as far as procedures go, there's still a lot of things that UIL asks for, and just time commitments, people needing, your input on things, whether it's, hey, how are we going to do this walkthrough? What do we, can we feed the girls breakfast before y'all go? And you just know that there's a lot of those kinds of details going on. And so you got to be careful that you don't let those things take over your preparation, that you still watch film, you still get ready for the game. And for me personally, that's the biggest takeaway. I guess the other thing that I can help them with is just little things on, when we get to the stadium, where we'll go. We know where to go. We know where the locker rooms are. We know we have to go get a picture taken and where that's at. Just kind of the setup and knowing when to do things and where to go and how all of that works.
Coach, you retired in 2018. You were a boys coach. You come out at a higher level, much higher level. You come out of retirement to coach in Class 1A, a girls program. Can you explain that move? Did you just miss basketball? What was behind that?
There was always a plan to retire and rehire financially. It just made sense to me. I like the idea of having a year to kind of recharge the batteries. But when I came back, I really wanted to do something different. Whether that was a change in the level of play or changing to girls, I had several different opportunities when I came back, and on paper, Westbrook might not have looked like the best of the options, but just the people that I talked to here and some of the players that I was able to meet, I think that getting to know some of the people and having people make an impression on you kind of takes the front seat, in a lot of the other factors. I think the people that you work with, the people that you coach with, all those things are huge. And in that respect, Westbrook was phenomenal. And since I've been here, our fan base is, I think, one of the most supportive groups that I've ever seen, let alone be a part of. The
You can
support
tell on
is
the traffic.
it's incredible. But Westbrook is, and it's kind of a spiritual thing for me too. I prayed a lot about wanting to do what God wanted me to do, and this is kind of where I felt led to go, and I feel like I've been blessed in I guess response to that call.
Coach, we get traffic from Westbrook that is about 3 times the population of Westbrook. The following out there is outrageous. So when you mentioned the fan following that you get, that's why I interrupted you just a second ago, because we look at the numbers and we're like, we're getting 3 times as much traffic as the town has people, which is pretty amazing.
It really is. It's so supportive, and the positive feedback. I talked to a lot of coaches that don't get much feedback from their people, and in this business, we know what our job is, and we're not out to please people all the time. But I think that people recognize that you love on their kids, and you may get on them, coach them hard, but at the same time, they know how you feel about their kids, and they just return back so much. And it's definitely a special place, and it's really captured my heart over the last 5 years.
One thing I like to ask coaches who have done both, coach on the boys and girls side, is just what are some of the differences? What are some of the kind of the unique aspects that you've noticed in making that transition?
I can coach pretty much the same way. I still coach hard, and even today, I was getting after it pretty hard during our athletic period and our practice, and but at the same time, I think that they know how I feel about them, and so I can do that. Probably the biggest difference I've noticed that girls will really, really go out of their way to try to give you what you're asking for. And not that guys won't, but they really are driven to please. And of course, that makes it really good for coaching, because that they want to do the right thing. And so then it's up to you to set up a practice or a drill so that they have that opportunity to be successful. And I would say the only other thing that I've probably done is after a game, I probably don't, if it's a game we struggled in, I probably don't yell and scream at them. I learned that the very first year that doesn't work too well, except unless you want to go through a lot of Kleenex. Both my boys who played for me say that I'm a softie now, and I don't think my girls would agree with that, but maybe a little bit more than what I was when they played for me.
Coach, let's talk about the overall program success and the tradition that you have built and the future of the program and where it's heading. I would imagine a lot of the young kids in Westbrook are now looking forward to becoming Lady Cats.
Well, I'll tell you a story from that year that we went to the state semifinal in 21. I had one of the teachers that had a young daughter, maybe 4th grade, and she came up to me and said, my daughter asked how old you were. And I said, oh, really? And why's that? And she said, well, she wants to make sure that you're going to still be coaching when she gets up to high school. And so she wasn't the only one that, you realized that our team was making an impression on. and they started, playing youth basketball, and they're now in junior high and working hard. And even now we're seeing some of these young girls again that we're having an impact on. And so it definitely does help a program to have success like this down the road. I feel like a lot of it is the coachability. When I first came, the girls were incredibly receptive to the things that I was trying to establish, and that's the basketball things, but it's also the culture things and the toughness and the things that it takes to really excel. And we made it a goal to get to regional. Some people always talk about our goal is state, and Texas is a big place, and it's hard to get there. And so, our goal is to get to regional, and then we'll see what happens. And, that's kind of worked for us. We won the regional in 21 and now again this year. And I don't think a lot of people would have picked us to be that representative, but, why not us? So that's the way we feel. And I think that going forward, we've got talented girls all the way down to sixth grade that we see, and we can see that we can start counting on. And, I might be doing this for a while. Certainly not what maybe the original plan was when I first started, but it's kind of hard to leave kids that you've invested in and that are striving for success. So just the culture of our community and the players and what we've got going in the program has really been outstanding.
Coach, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your time. Good luck down in San Antonio, and we will be down there to cover you. We will see you. We'll see you in the Dome. Looking forward to it.
All right. Thank you very much.
And that was Westbrook head girls basketball coach Jeff Bontrager, who has, I tell you what, he's done as good a job with a girls basketball program in the Big Country as anyone, frankly, girls or boys, really.
Yeah, done a tremendous job. And honestly, when you look at just his entire body of work, from taking the Levelland boys to a state tournament, now with 2 trips with Westbrook, he's building quite a resume just in terms of his coaching career. But with this team in particular, done a remarkable job, because this is a group. And he mentioned it in the conversation we had with him. I don't think there were probably many people that thought that they were going to be maybe even at the regional, much less the team that survived Region 2 to get to state. Particularly early in the season, he told me after one of their wins at the region tournament, he's like, if you'd have seen me, if you'd seen us in November or early December, he's like, this team wasn't going to be striking the fear in the hearts of anybody. And then you look, and they're beating a really good Herald team. They're beating Irion County. They're beating Eula was playing exceptional basketball by the time that they met up with Westbrook in that region final, and Westbrook just kind of gritted their way to a really impressive come from behind win. So what he's done there, like you said, very impressive, and it's been a really neat story. This Westbrook team is a really easy team to root for. They play extremely hard. They never give in. And I think that they've kind of built a reputation as a group that's a group of maybe underdogs that just continues to win. It's been really cool to watch what they've done.
Is it just me, or is the entire culture at Westbrook changed across, the entire athletic department? When I first got to the Abilene area in 06 with the Reporter News, Westbrook was struggling. It really wasn't didn't have they had some limited success in certain areas, but now overall the overall athletic program, the entire culture has just changed. And they always had great fan support, so it was like throwing gasoline on a fire. Once it was already there, and then once the success was there, man, it's just exploded. Our traffic on Westbrook stuff is outlandish considering the size of the town.
For sure. But it's really like you said, it's kind of crazy when you look at it. They've been to 3 straight trips to the state championship football game, won 2 of those. Boys basketball was playing in a region quarterfinal this week against Eula tonight on Tuesday. The baseball teams had a lot of success, and now on the girls' side, you're talking about 2 state trips in 4 years, and a young enough team that they're going to be a threat for a while. This is a really good, well put together program that has I think some legs to it. It's going to be a contender for a little while. So, yeah, if you're a Westbrook fan, this is probably the best time ever to be a Westbrook fan when you look across all sports. They're going deep in every sport every season, and it's kind of neat to see these kids kind of build that tradition and kind of build those expectations, because that a lot of times that's what it takes, is just getting kids to buy in and believe that they should be this good, and I think they've done that in a lot of sports now.
All right, it's about time to close the books on this special Tuesday night edition of our Big Country Preps Wednesday night podcast. But before we do that, we want to remind you that we've got 3 separate subscription packages here at Big Country Preps. We've got a monthly for $5 a month. We've got a semi-annual 6-month subscription where we knock that price down to $4 a month, and then we've got an annual 12-month subscription where we knock the price down to $3 a month. That's the best value. That's $36 for a full year of Big Country High School athletic coverage.
We'd also like to remind you that if you see a photo you like in any one of our galleries, those are available for purchase. We have photo downloads available for $7, as well as some keepsakes and prints. So make sure you check those out. As you scroll through the site, you'll notice pretty quickly that we take a whole lot of photos from these games that we're at, and we try to be at a whole lot of sporting events over the course of the school year. That is something that we really enjoy doing and something we take a lot of pride in here at bigcountrypreps.com.
All Big Country, all high school, all the time. Welcome home.